Alright, this should be the last lecture of this section, unless I add more lectures in the future upon student request. So I'm on an Ubuntu computer here, I'm not on a Windows, and so for Windows users you can skip this lecture if you want. If you like, you can follow this if you're curious on how a Unix based computer looks like, such as Ubuntu. So this lecture is for those who have a Linux or a Mac computer, because in this lecture I'll show you how to make our Python program run when the computer starts. And for that we'll be using the cron service. Now cron is available both on Linux and Mac, so you don't have to install anything. Probably you know how to use cron already, but if you don't, there are just a few instructions that to make it work. And I'm gonna go ahead and open the website blocker.py, open terminal with right click and then Atom, so I'll be using Atom, which I have already installed earlier. And all we have to change from the script is the host path. So this was a Windows path, and on Mac and Linux that would be that one. And I'm gonna save the script here, go to the terminal, and I want to quickly check my host file. So I'm opening it with nano. And yeah, this looks good. I have no websites there that I want to block. Ctrl X to exit. And yeah, what I'll do now is, before I try and add my Python script to be executed by cron, I'll go ahead and just quickly try the script with Python directly. Just a small change in here. Now it's 4:30, so let me change this to 17 so that we fall within the working hours. And I'll go ahead and sudo python 3 website blocker.py execute, and yeah, it seems to be working. It prints out the working hours, and yeah, interrupt that and go and check the host file. Yeah, the lines are there. Great, this seems to be working. Ctrl X to exit. So I hope things are going well on your Mac or your Linux as well. What's left to do now is to add this in the cron table. And to do that, you need to open the cron table file with cron tab with the E flag. Yep, and that opens the cron tab file. However, before you add any line here, note that the way we open cron tab, it opens up the file that is accessible by the normal user. So you may want to exit that and open a cron tab with sudo instead. The reason you want to do that is because we have to execute this website blocker.py script as an administrator, so with high privileges, because the host file is protected by Linux. So execute that and go the end and say you shouldn't have this last line. I have this from another script, so ignore that, and I'll add another line here, reboot python 3. So you need to write reboot there, which tells Ubuntu to execute this command when the computer starts. So that would be home, my short name, applications, and website blocker.py. Yeah, that should do it. So that's the path to my Python file. And Ctrl X and Y and enter, and that should be saved now. So if you open cron tab without sudo, you'll see a different file. But if you open cron tab with sudo, you'll see the lines that we have just added. And yeah, before I close this lecture, just a quick tip. If you're trying, for instance, to point to your local host file, which you're passing as a relative, path here. So for instance, I'm not passing this as an absolute path like I'm doing with this one here. So if you're using Python to modify a file with a relative path, and you pass that command in cron tab, as I did here, Python will not be able to access that relative path, because cron tab will execute Python from another directory which is different from where the website blocker.py is located. So it's good to work with absolute files. And yeah, now this should be working well, and if I restart my computer now, the video will be stopped, so I can't really record the rebooting process. But if you have some problems, just drop me a message or post a question in the discussion, and yeah, I'll be happy to help you, as always. And if I browse Facebook, yeah, I'll not be able to connect, even though my internet connection is fine. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you make use of this program. And I'll see you in the next lecture then.